Hi, beautiful people. How's everything going? Tell me in the comments how your day's going. But this channel is Bailey for Ramen News, and today I'm going to be discussing why God doesn't completely protect His children from every type of trouble. And before the video, just wanted to say, give me criticism about this video, and tell me if you're in need of prayer in the comments. But now I can begin this video. Alright, so I believe there are multiple reasons why God doesn't completely shield His children from danger, sickness, calamity, etc. And the first reason would be discipline. And I'll bring up these verses to help my point. Proverbs 3:11 through 12. My son, do not reject the discipline of the Lord, and do not loathe his rebuke. For the Lord disciplines the one he loves, as does a father the son in whom he delights. End quote. And then Hebrews 12:6 through 11. This is a long one right here. Because the Lord disciplines the one he loves, and he chastens everyone he accepts as his son. Endure hardship as discipline. God is treating you as his children. For what children are not disciplined by their father? If you are not disciplined, and everyone undergoes discipline, then you are not legitimate, not true sons and daughters at all. Moreover, we have all had human fathers who disciplined us, and we respected them for it. How much more should we submit to the Father of spirits and live? They disciplined us for a little while as they thought best, but God disciplines us for our good, in order that we may share in his holiness. No discipline seems pleasant at the time, but painful. Later on, however, it produces a harvest of righteousness and peace for those who have been trained by it. End quote. To explain, God will punish those who are deserving, just like when a child misbehaves for long enough, and then their parents come to them with a belt and spanks them. It's basically the same thing. Sometimes that discipline will look harsh, like really harsh, but if something like that does come our way, that would have to mean that the action we done to ourselves or others is as harsh, if not harsher than the calamity that came our way, even if we don't see it, or like I said, we don't know God's mind. So of course I believe God will give plenty of hints of what you're doing wrong before the calamity comes your way, before his discipline, or sometimes you already know about it yourself, and so he'll give you time to see if you'll stop prevailing with it. Like, he'll give you time to stop doing what you're doing. I remember one time years ago that I was looking at real life fights on Twitter because it had entertained me, but deep down I knew they were wrong to watch. Like, I shouldn't be looking at these. Like, they're wrong, they're sad. On rare occasions, I would see videos on the same category of fighting, of people pulling out weapons like knives or guns, and those I was trying to avoid because I didn't want to see people die in blood. Yeah, I kept looking at the fighting videos, while simply trying to avoid the gore. Like, I still try to look at the fist fights, the street fights, while I'm trying to avoid, people getting shot and stuff like that. I didn't fully see what would happen in those videos, at least not long enough to see any blood spilling out of anybody, but it could have been there, and I believe God, showed me a glimpse of these videos to show that I was going down a dark path and I needed to stop, yet I kept going. So it was my fault that this next thing, which is I reached a video that made me stop looking at these fights entirely, and it was seeing a man get shot in the neck while in this car and hearing the people that were with him scream. It completely turned me off from what I was viewing and shook me for a while. And yeah, ever since I just stopped looking at them fights on Twitter. And I believe God allowed me to see that to make me stop watching these terrible videos. And I should have been praying for those people instead. Like, that should have been my first priority. And go to the second reason. The second reason God allows his children to sometimes get in trouble is so that we don't see him only as like a glorified bodyguard. God didn't promise us that we would have a perfect, pain-free life, like it says in John 16:33. I have told you these things, so that in me you may have peace. In this world you will have trouble, but take heart, I have overcome the world. End quote. And another verse I have is Matthew 5:46, that you may be children of your Father in heaven. He causes his sun to rise on the evil and the good, and sends rain on the righteous and the unrighteous. End quote. God explains that we're going to inevitably face trials, but because He's larger than the world, He's going to be with us through it, and He'll never completely destroy us if we don't allow it. So we'll, trust in Him. And I believe God doesn't want to be seen as only an unstoppable force, that'll prevent every type of disease, anguish, and more, because that's what many people will only see Him as if that's the case. If God was known for complete 24/7 protection, then many people would become Christians for the wrong reason. They will only become Christians so that they would never have to face going through any type of hard times, making this an ungenuine relationship with God. Like, imagine having a son, or if you do, imagine that son or daughter only saw you as a walking fortress, that you're always there to protect them from all calamities, like what many fathers would like to be. Or, of course, a mother too, if you're like a woman and you're seeing this, like many mothers would like to be as well. Sorry. But they don't see you as anything else. They don't see the other parts of you, like your personality, your strengths, your wisdom, etc. And they just see you as this bulletproof vest, this indestructible, perfect bulletproof vest. They don't talk to you much. They don't want to hang out with you besides, protection. Like, you're expected to walk with them and you're just meant to keep quiet. Like, they won't check up on you, if you're feeling sick or anything like that. They're just like, they'll only check up on you just to see, like, hey, you ready to get back to protecting me? They won't check up on you saying, like, about your mood and stuff like that. That's what I mean. But, yeah, they only expect from you to just watch your back from dangerous lurking. And that's all, and that's going to be depressing, And I know I wouldn't want to see my children only look at me as like a one-note servant, just there to protect and nothing more. Like, that's all I could do. Like, I'm some paid security guard. Many people would treat God like this if He was this invincible spirit around us that we would have liked, and that would be terrible for Him because He wants to be genuinely loved. Like we would have want to be, like we would have want to be genuinely loved. Sorry, my tongue's all over the place. And to add, yes, we would still have to, keep God's commandments and repent, and we would still need to live for Him if He was this indestructible shield. But it still wouldn't be a genuine love if our true motivation for doing those things was just to keep our free protection service. And don't get me wrong, God does protect more than some may think. He has His angels to be around us to keep any demons away from possessing us, for example. And there are definitely some parts in our life where we could have been in trouble, whether small or big, and God prevented that from happening to us. Sometimes we're not realizing that we were this close to facing it, but we just need to know that God won't stop every disaster, every pain, every loss that we're going to face. We just need to trust in Him for those days, and He'll sooner or later turn those things around. But if not, we'll learn to live with it. Like, He'll make sure that we'll be able to live with it. Like, like losing a loved one, like, it's gonna hurt for a long time, but you'll eventually learn to live with it. You'll still have your pains here and there, but it's not gonna be enough for being like, man, I just can't live my life anymore. But speaking of trusting Him, that brings me to my third reason, which is God would want us to trust Him through the storms. And I have verses to back this up. 1 Peter 1:7. These have come so that the proven genuineness of your faith, of greater worth than gold, which perishes even through rendered by fire, may result in praise, glory, and honor when Jesus Christ is revealed. End quote. And Romans 8:28. We know that God works all things together for good for the ones who love God and for those who are called according to His purpose. End quote. And last, I'll bring up this verse again, John 16:33. I have told you these things, so that in me you may have peace. In this world you will have trouble, but take heart, I have overcome the world. End quote. God sometimes allows or even sends these bad times to use for testing our faith, to see if we're going to stick with Him, even if we're not getting the blessings we desire. God will even allow us to go through the most unbearable times so that we'll have no choice but to give Him our problems, to have faith that He'll remove or give us long suffering for them. Sometimes we'll be thrown into those situations so that we don't grow a big head to believe that we can handle things ourselves without God. It's to like keep us humble, because we can get to a point where like if everything's just so good and then like everything's always going our way, we're gonna automatically think that, oh, this is actually, my doing. Like I'm keeping myself this good right now, or whatever I'm accomplishing. I'm like, oh, it's all because of me. Like you're like, oh, I can never think of myself doing that, but it can come up. I know sometimes I'll have thoughts like where I think I did a good job in this drawing or something like that. I'm like, oh man, it was all because of me. Like look how good I got at drawing. Like I did it through my hard work, and my hard work only. Like no way. I prayed for motivation. I don't remember. Yeah, nah, it was just me. I did that by myself. But okay, I'm done with this video right here. This is not every reason I believe why God allows us to go for tribulation. I still got more, but I'm going to end it here because I don't want the video to be too long. It's been a while since I uploaded a video this long. But thank you for viewing and liking or subscribe if you like this type of content, my other videos. And God's willing, I'll see y'all beautiful people next time. Goodbye. Take care.